Thanks to Frankie's, Swiss Locker, Bendigo Bank, Peninsula Safety and Workwear, and 7 Steps to Wealth and Ambience Catering. This is GameFace at the footy, the MP NFL, and we've got the blockbuster, the arch rivals, traditional rivals, but they're also two teams that respect each other, Pines and YCW, but most importantly, second and third on the ladder. We've got the two coaches with us, talking of respect, two of the most respected figures in the game, in Paddy Swain from Pines and also Wayne Cap from YCW. Morning, gentlemen. It's a big day. It's a cold day. Wayne, I'll start with you. Your team 3-2 going all right, and I thought, well, all the bad luck that hit you last year had dissipated, but it came back last week with a vengeance, Wayne, didn't it, with all those injuries and no rotations from quarter time?
Yeah, it was. We'd been talking about for the first 4 weeks how we had some continuity in our list, and we were able to play a lot of guys together for without too many changes. And then we had a bit of bad luck in the first quarter, and we had 4 boys go down really early, so that threw us into a bit of a panic in the coaching box. But it was we have to get over those hurdles when they present, and Rosebud were good enough to take advantage of it, and they played really well.
Do you think they're a bit better than most of us thought, Rosebud?
Oh, mate, I never underestimated it anyway. They beat us last year. They're a good team. They're well coached. They've got some real class in there, particularly down forward. Downey is a handful. His brother in the midfield's a really good player, and Huswaite. Yeah, they're gonna have a great year, I reckon. They're good. So
when you're down rotations and you've got no rotations from quarter time onwards, as a coach, what are you thinking? What are you doing? You're making constant moves to ensure that your players are fresh, knowing that none of them can leave the ground?
Well, it's looking after, the main thing is to look after your midfield guys, the guys who do the most Ks. So it's trying to get them rested as much as possible, and we were trying to flick them forward, and we put more blokes into that rotation to try and share the load a little bit. And it made us really work hard in the coach's box, which was good. And, we really had to think it through.
Now, I asked Paddy this question on the footy show during the week. The AFL, as you know, they've got lots of money, and they could put their money into a number of different areas. I think local footy is one area they could put their money into. And we know now that a lot of the competitions are centralised with AFL South East, AFL Barwon, AFL Outer East, etc. What if they were to provide money for a 23rd player who would come on in a situation that was presented to you guys last week, that by half time you've got no rotations and that player can play?
Yeah, well, look, in what we experienced last week, it would have been fantastic. And, I wouldn't knock it back. I think it'd be great if you could somehow have it as an under-19 kid or something like that, like the VFL do, and have a similar sort of rule. It would be great. Good experience for a young fella if he comes in, and give the opportunity to get a look at some of these, really talented kids that are running around in the under-19s.
Because, Paddy, you were in favour of that too, weren't you? I mean, it would be good, wouldn't it, for the competition?
Are you talking, though, that you have to wait for injuries like a super sub, or are you saying that they can play you can have 5 on the bench?
I think you can have 5 on the bench. That's what I'm thinking. I agree with that.
Yeah,
it makes it tough if it was 4 and then you had someone there who's not playing footy.
You don't want a kid sitting there waiting for someone to get injured before he's allowed to get on the ground. I think, if you can use them part of your rotations, I think it's a great idea.
Now, I want to ask you about talking of players not playing football, and we've seen the situation with Devon Meadows battling for under-19s, but at least they're getting a team out there every week and they're starting to get more players. Langwarren have come up with a great idea that they initiated with the league, and that is that they are giving their players who are missing out on playing reserves, and they're dominating in the reserves in second division, the opportunity on permit, different players every week, to go and play reserves footy with crib points so they can field a team. Paddy, how do you feel about that?
I think it's a great idea. I actually spoke to Josh Beard because we picked up a couple of players from Langwarren, and I rang him and said, this is going on? They just walked out of your club because they couldn't get a game in the reserves, and we had a bit of a chat about the predicament that they were in with having so many miss out. And I asked him, I said, have you thought about putting a team in the Club 18s comp in the Ammos? Have you heard of Club 18?
Yes,
social.
Yeah.
I thought maybe
my old school Xavier have got about 3 of them.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's... so they'll probably explore that. And then I've done a little bit of research myself, and I think because they'd be registered with a different league, I actually don't think it would work, but it would be nice if that could actually happen if you had too many numbers, play them in a Club 18.
But at least they're getting a game, Wayne, every week, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, it's a great initiative. got to be careful how it works, and you want to have a really good relationship and working.
They're in the
working
same league. That's what I find funny. They're in the same. Like Crib Point actually plays Lang Warren, so the Lang Warren boys are getting the IP off Crib Point per se. And the other thing, I know Lang Warren's doing Crib Point a favour, but I think from a cost point of view, Lang Warren's getting those guys registrations for them. Then they're going down to Crib Point on a game day, and they're using tape and trainers and physios and all coaches and that sort of stuff. So I don't know how it works out budget wise or. Yeah,
well, Crib Point pay for the gate. They certainly did. I spoke to young Ethan Watts for the footy show on Thursday night, and he said that Crib Point pay for them to get in, pay for their lunch. And he said they were warmly welcomed. And there were another 3 or 4. We'd love to have been there. We didn't get a chance to. Would have loved to have been there on Thursday night when Norm Whiteside would have said, well, we had 3 go down last week. Another 4 are going down this week. Who wants to go down? They've all bought into it. I think they were a bit reluctant early days, Wayne, but they've all bought into it. I can understand maybe not doing it against your own team, but certainly against every other team.
Yeah, that's a great initiative, and I suppose through all the complexities of it all, the main thing is that 3 or 4 blokes are getting a game of footy
and that's the key. Yeah.
And and if they can make it work, well, good luck to them, and really well done.
Can I ask a question, gentlemen, about payment of players at football clubs? There was some news floating around that some players on Good Friday wanted penalty rates to play Good Friday.
Really?
Correct. Because when you work Good Friday, Wayne, and you run your own business, that they would want penalty rates.
Bloody oath.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, well, look, that's a unique one. I haven't ever heard anything of that before, but...
Cappy and I get penalty rates for Saturday nights and, and Sundays.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, no, look, that's a really unique request, and I'm sure that it was met with a wry smile and on your way, son sort of response, but
Is it tough, Wayne, to balance the budget? You've got to balance the points and balance the budget. And I know the other week you had 23 points you used because you had so many one-pointers.
Yep.
But that doesn't happen every week.
No, look, we're usually well in the 20s. We've most of our guys are one-pointers. I think James has come down for Queensland's a 5-pointer. And then I think our next one might be a 2-pointer, which is Onga, and he'll be a 1-pointer next year. So it's quite a unique situation with us at the moment. Most of our boys are 1-pointers. They still want to be paid. 1 point doesn't mean less money, unfortunately.
And you're still less points than everybody else because of the success that YC's had. So were you 37 points?
30, yeah. We were 36 last year, and our maximum's 37, but we've never really pushed that boundary at all. So, but it gives us scope for recruiting and stuff like that with all the 1-pointers we've got.
You've also got players, Paddy, that play for the love of the team. The Henry boys would almost play for nothing, wouldn't they? That's how much I love this football club.
Yeah, we got players who could command a lot more money at other clubs. But I think and YC is a great example of this, if you create the right environment, the right training program, the right people around your club, the money is the last thing that they're actually thinking about. So, when I talked to Bo and Guy, I've never had a conversation with them about money. It's always been about how can we get better, how can we improve, who can we get on board to make us a better club.
It's interesting that you say that Pines seem to have taken a leaf out of YC's book. How proud does that make you, Wayne, knowing that your club's been a successful club, that a team like Pines, winning the flag last year, feel that they've learned a lot from what the Stone Cats have done over the years, all the success they've had?
Yeah, look, I love hearing that, and it's really good to hear, and they've learnt too much, I think.
They haven't lost since the middle of the year last year, Wayne.
Pardon?
They haven't lost since the middle of the year last year.
I know that, and they beat us twice last year as well. So look, it's good. We set our standards high and have done for a long time, and I know that Paddy's spoken to myself and previous coaches at YC about how they've gone about things and what how we've achieved our success, and it's not just the skill and the talents of the players. It's what they do outside of training and off the ground that really matters. And and then there's it's all a lot of things have got to come together to have a successful season. And it's a lot to do with culture and work ethic, and wanting to do it for your mates really. And but Pines have really created their own sort of standards now, which we all have to look up to and try to get better to catch them now. So.
Before we welcome the captains in, Paddy, how do you win today without giving away too many trade secrets? It is a massive game. You've got a lot of depth. You're missing a lot of key players. So are YCW, an opportunity again. We won't use the word soldier because I don't think it's the right word, but you've got more footballers coming in that you hope will just fill the bill.
Yeah, look, and YC will be exactly the same as us today. It's just you're looking for effort. You're looking for guys to play the way we want to play structurally. Obviously, pressure around the ball is going to be very, very important today because both sides use the ball quite well. So, look, if we give effort and we know we'll be in the game. That's the bottom line. When we give our effort, we know we're in the game, and we know where that takes us. You need a little bit of luck in footy too. You ball will bounce your way. So, but at the end of the day, I know we'll be looking for effort, and so will the YC boys.
And Wayne, your new recruit from Queensland, James?
Yeah,
just a quick word on him.
Yeah, James has come down from Queensland. He makes his debut today. So
how's he going to cope with the weather today?
Yeah, well, he's been in Melbourne for a while now, so he's sort of acclimatised a bit. His old man's flown down to watch the game today.
Good.
Yeah, so he's come from.
How's he coping with it?
Oh, he's got about 38 jumpers on and freezing, but. Yeah, no, he'll be a good player for us, and we're really excited for him to make his debut today. So.
Good on you, boys. Thanks for being part of the
pleasure.
show. You're always so generous for your time.
Get your GameFace on.